Well, there's a lot of talk here at National Farm Machinery Show about electrification of equipment, but electrification on John's farm has a bit of a different meaning. He joins us now from his farm for John's World this week.
I was driving around the farm last week, checking to see if our gravel roads could bear up under the grain trucks. They can't. When I drove by this field of ours, and I felt an odd sense of something being wrong. It wasn't until I got all the way down here to the corner at the end of the half-mile rows that I put my finger on it. The power line that had run along this field as long as I have been alive was gone. And judging from the lack of wires on the poles along our field just beyond, they could be removed soon as well. I was stunned and elated. Fields adjacent to a road without power poles are so much easier to keep neat. It means ending the dreaded back and forth with the crude trimming with a batwing mower, which even the best operators can only make look, well, not too sloppy. The practice of sterilizing the ground around the pole with non-selective herbicides just kind of makes me uncomfortable, as we are trying to convince non-farmers how prudently and minimally we use chemicals. Following up the mower with a string trimmer became a job that encouraged many farm boys to get a degree in anything else. It worked for me, but then I had to use a scythe made with a sharpened mammoth bone, of course. Bare of poles, the outside row can be perfectly straight with precise margins and planted and harvested without looking back repeatedly in panic to check to see if the unloading auger, or in the old days, the planter marker, was left out mistakenly. The pole that sat on this corner bent my combine auger some decades ago as I tried to get just a little too cute opening up the field. Maybe I can finally move on from that nightmare. The line has been essentially stranded for years. It's unconnected at both ends, and obviously it didn't pass any houses or buildings. I tried to find out what the Illinois rules for when power lines can be decommissioned are, but never got a call back. There is, though, a bittersweetness to all this, because I remember grandparents recounting the staggering benefits rural electrification had for farms, and what a joyous moment it was when power came to your farm. At one time, this line provided electricity to as many as 7 different dwellings, according to my dubious memory. If you know exactly where to look, you can still detect some traces. Truly rural America, that's for me outside incorporated towns, has been depopulating for decades. Ironically, the completion of electrification of farm country may have occurred just as farm population was beginning to decline, at least around here.
Thanks so much, John. All right, we need to take a quick break. I know you're looking at a lot of new iron here, but what about a story of some antique iron? Machinery Repeat. Here's Tractor Tales next.
U.S. Farm Report is brought to you by Duracade Viptera,